Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and today I wanted to talk about Blizzard, because it seems to be a hot topic as of late, and what's one thing YouTubers love to do? It's talk about the big hot topics, get that spicy clickbait for your demonetized videos. So, I mean, listen, I don't care, I just wanted to make a video to rant about all this, alright? So that's what I'm gonna do. So, first things first, Blizzard losing all its employees, Bobby Kotick making like $1 billion or whatever he makes, and just Blizzard losing a lot of respect from a lot of people across the board. Diablo Immortal comes to mind, just so many things. The end of BFA, it started out pretty well, but then everybody pretty much hates BFA now, which I don't hate BFA, but I don't play it currently, so that's besides the point. The whole thing is Blizzard seems to be detached from the community, which was one of Blizzard's strengths years ago, right? Blizzard was the company, it was the cool company. You know, it was the company where they made games they wanted to make. They took their time. If they didn't release something on time, they were like, hey, soon, TM. And when it came out, everyone was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love you, Blizzard, right? That was what they were. And now it's almost gotten that corporate effect where they need money, they turn to big corporation, they turn to Bobby Kotick, who's on the board of like Coca-Cola or some shit, and he's just like, yeah, you know, he's Trade Prince Gallywix, I tweeted it, and he just lives in his Azshara mansion, throwing garbage down at the peasants who have to clean it up, and laughing as he makes his money from buying WoW boost to get to level 120. Right? That's what he is. And so he's pretty much sucked the life out of Blizzard, right? The company that loved making games, was passionate about games, and made games they wanted to play, right? There's their thing. They made the games that they wanted to play themselves, and they knew other people who want to play those games. And it's gotten that effect. I feel it reminds me of Rare. Anyone remember Rare with Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong 64, all these great titles, and then Banjo-Tooie, everyone's excited, here comes the new Banjo 3, Microsoft buys Rare, and Microsoft's like, you know, we know everybody wants that third Banjo-Kazooie game, and you seem to know what you're doing over there at Rare, but what if, right? What if we made it a car game? It's that same thing. It's like they could be making like the best new World of Warcraft expansion, and you know, all the Activision people are like, you know, it's pretty neat that you got this stuff in, but like, what if we like made it harder to do so people had to pay money to advance through it? It's like, okay. That's the thing, is when you bring in these corporations, you just bring in this soul-sucking, money-hungry entity. It's like that's all they care about is making money, right? That's it. It's like, how do we get money? How do we make investors happy? And how do we make more money? That's what it all boils down to. And that's why everything becomes this soul-crushing, like, endeavor by the end of it, right? Everybody's waiting for this big new Diablo game. So many people grew up with Diablo. They've been playing Diablo for years. Everybody's waiting. Here comes Diablo 4, and it's Diablo Mobile. Why are they making Diablo Mobile? Because they want money. It's big money, right? You got a phone, right? Everybody's got a phone. Everybody can buy shit on your phone, but if we make it for the PC, you only get the initial game purchase and then maybe some DLC that they make too slowly, so it's like, yeah, we don't want to do that. Put it on the phone. Could sell it all over. It's just sad, I guess is what it boils down to, because it's becoming a very common thing in just gaming in general. Like all these companies, especially with so many games growing, like Fortnite. I mean, I typed in Blizzard to search for news on Blizzard stuff where it's like, you know, Blizzard lays off nearly 800. No major game planned for 2019, which I still want Diablo 4. But, you know, I guess I'll take Warcraft 3 Remastered and Classic. Well, I'm very happy with that still, as long as they don't make you pay for stuff tied into that, you know what I'm saying? But the top article I found, CNN, Fortnite effect strikes again. Activision lays off 8% of its workforce. That wasn't because of Fortnite. What? that just that just made me mad. I was like, Fortnite did not make Blizzard lose 8% of its workforce. Like, come on. And if anything, nobody even plays Fortnite anymore. Everyone plays Apex Legends, so get out of here. I'm on a rant right now. That's besides the point. So, I guess it made me realize how most things we enjoy start from a place of almost being connected in some way, right? People that worked on Classic WoW. I've interviewed some people in Fishing with Crendor that worked on Classic WoW, and you could tell how passionate they were about gaming. They loved gaming. They got jobs at Blizzard, and they got to make games, and they got to make games that they wanted to make, and they wanted to play and have fun doing it. And you could see that in the game. And I think that ties into anything in art, I guess you could say, whether it's writing, drawing, TV, movies, games, music, whatever it is. You can tell if somebody's doing something for the money versus somebody doing something because they care, right? You could even tell on YouTube. If somebody, like, I've been doing this for so long, you know, I did this for 2 years as a hobby because I just enjoy doing it. And then there's people where you can tell the day you stop getting money on YouTube and everything's demonetized, they'd be gone. They'd be like, oh, I care about the fans, but they don't, right? They care about the money, and they'll move on to their next monetization thing to suck the money out of somewhere else. That's what it is. And I think it's okay to obviously monetize a bit more than when you started. You know what I mean? Like Blizzard, you know, maybe they started charging for realm transfers, right, or some stuff like that, and everyone's like, okay, but then it slowly builds up. It slowly creeps into that point where it's like, when's it gonna stop, right? Like, you got level boosts, you got transfer, you got WoW tokens, you got all these things, and it makes you wonder when it's all gonna stop, or if it's gonna stop, or if it hits the point where people just stop caring. And it's like I said, it's kind of sad, and it's sad because I think you can never really go back to how it was. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it feels like the companies like Blizzard or like old Rare, a lot of these old companies, they used to be the voice of most people that play games, right? When you played a Blizzard game, when you played one of those games, you felt like, hey, I know this is going to be a good game. I know it's going to have that Blizzard feel to it, that Blizzard touch to it. So it was, you know, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch even is probably their last one. Like, when I played Overwatch for the first time, I loved it. I loved Overwatch. And sure, it's gotten stale, but like, it was still fun to play. But obviously, yeah, it's gotten old. But, you know, a lot of these games, they did have that polish to it that made you come back, and they had that, they had a sense of, hey, the people that made this actually care. And that's, I think, the biggest thing in anything. You have to tell that the person creating something cares. And when you have somebody like Bobby Kotick, who clearly does not care, running everything, it's a trickle down, right? It's toxicity, and it spreads. It spreads very quickly. And when you know the guy at the top doesn't care, then the people below him don't care. And when the people below him don't care, the employees sure don't care. And then nobody cares. And, you know, the apple's rotten. You need that Mike Morhaime, right? When Mike Morhaime was in charge, you know, you wanted to go to work. You wanted to make games because you knew he loved games. He cared about the product. And if you upset him, it was like, shit, dude, I let the boss down. He's like, you know, do you think people care about letting Bobby Kotick down? No. Right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about letting Bobby Kotick down. And I guess that's the big thing, is I don't think anything's going to change until he's gone, or until Activision lets Blizzard go, which I don't know. I don't see that happening, because that's where they get most of their money, or where they make most of their money. Just, they need something drastic to happen to shift the way they're going, because right now they're going down the old money path, right, where it's so focused on monetization that it's losing its soul. And I think that's the most important thing. And when people play Classic WoW again, I think it's going to give them that nostalgia of like, wow, you know, this is the game that I grew up with. This is the game that people made that actually cared about the game they made, right? They didn't just try to meet a deadline and that's all they cared about. Sure, they were trying to make the deadline, but they were putting everything they had into the game. And, you know, they weren't selling anything else with it. No DLC, no mounts, no pets, no whatever it is. They're like, here's the game, have fun, you know? And that was it. No gold tokens, no anything. And I think that has made me the most excited for Classic WoW. Like, you know, at first I thought about Classic WoW and I was like, oh yeah, nostalgia, and, you know, it's going to be fun to go back and do all that. But really, I think it's, when I played it at BlizzCon, it was just slower paced. It was more RPG. You know, everything felt, I don't know, it just felt like a different game. And it's kind of crazy how different it feels while still being the same game. And I'm just excited to get to go back and kind of relive that and play it all again and compare it to modern WoW. So I like how everything turned dark as I'm talking about that. But either way, I want to know what you think on everything. What's your opinion? I'm sure you've already given your opinion on all the social media sites and the forums and everything like that, but I don't know. I felt a rant coming on, and so I just wanted to rant, even if it didn't make any sense at points, or if it did, or whatever. So either way, thanks for listening and watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Okay. See you.